The planet you stand on has melted and frozen countless times. Today, ice retreats toward the poles, but there was an age when it advanced like a living wall, burying forests, swallowing valleys, reshaping everything that breathed. Temperatures plummeted, winds thickened with dust, and even sound felt slower in the frozen air. The Ice Age didn't just test life, it redesigned it. Predators of warm eras vanished, and in their place came experiments forged by scarcity. Where every meal demanded a fight, nature began to build bodies around patience, endurance, and brutality. Muscles compacted, hearts grew larger, fur thickened into natural armor. The cold did what evolution had never dared. It sculpted monsters out of necessity. Imagine North America 20,000 years ago. A sheet of ice 2 kilometers high stretched from the Arctic to the Great Lakes. The land beneath was a graveyard of frozen rivers and silent plains. Yet in this white wasteland, life flourished. Herds of mammoths trudged across permafrost that cracked like glass. Bison the size of trucks thundered through blizzards. Sloths as tall as houses clawed bark from ancient conifers. Each species adapted to cold that could kill within minutes, and among them stalked something that didn't fear the freeze at all. Its paw prints pressed deep into snow, each step deliberate. Beneath its skin, cords of muscle coiled around bone dense as stone. Its canines curved longer than a man's hand, gleaming ivory against the frost. This was not simply a predator, it was the end result of a world gone cold. Evolution, cornered by ice, had chosen perfection in power over elegance and speed. Every hunt began with silence. The creature's breath formed a halo of mist as it crouched low, waiting for a bison to stumble. It didn't chase, it calculated. The Ice Age rewarded patience, not pursuit. When it finally struck, the snow exploded beneath it like shrapnel. The impact alone could shatter ribs. Those impossible fangs sank into soft throat or belly, ending the struggle before warmth drained away. Later generations would call it Smilodon, the saber-tooth. But to the prey that saw it last, it was something else entirely, the embodiment of winter's will to survive. The Ice Age didn't just build a monster, it built a philosophy written in flesh: adapt or vanish. And as the glaciers spread, this new rule would give birth to an entire kingdom of giants, whose every heartbeat echoed the sound of cracking ice. When the Ice Age tightened its grip, cold became the planet's engineer. Temperature dictated size, diet, and even the rhythm of breathing. In a frozen world, small meant fragile. The larger an animal grew, the more heat it trapped inside its body. And so, evolution began scaling life upward. What emerged were walking furnaces wrapped in fur, creatures built to hold warmth in a place where warmth barely existed. The air itself was different. With glaciers grinding stone into dust, minerals filled the atmosphere and drifted back onto the plains, feeding a sea of grass that could nourish giants. Herds of mammoths, bison, and ground sloths dominated the landscape, each animal weighing several tons. Their migrations carved natural highways across continents. From those same routes, predators learned patience. Every kill meant survival for a week. Every mistake meant hunger in the dark. The Ice Age produced abundance and danger in equal measure. Carcasses froze before they could rot, preserving scent trails that drew in packs of scavengers. Competition for every body was brutal. Short-faced bears, dire wolves, and American lions shared the same territories, all testing different blueprints of power. Yet among them, one predator's design began to stand apart. It was not fast like the cheetah's ancestor or agile like a panther. It was something denser, heavier, made to wrestle prey larger than itself. The La Brea tar pits in California capture this struggle perfectly. Thousands of bones lie stacked together, herbivores trapped first, predators lured in by the smell, and scavengers arriving last. The sheer number of Smilodon fossils there tells us how common they were, and how deadly that world had to be. Every hunt drew an audience of rivals ready to steal the reward. Speed alone couldn't win, control and precision did. To dominate this ecosystem, Smilodon's lineage traded agility for raw force. Its chest deepened to anchor massive shoulder muscles, its spine thickened to absorb recoil from impact. Limbs shortened for leverage, giving the cat the build of a sumo wrestler rather than a sprinter. A single pounce could crush ribs. A grapple could topple an animal many times its weight. The Ice Age rewarded such engineering, energy compressed into seconds of violence. Even vegetation shaped the design. Open tundra replaced forests, leaving no shadows to hide in. Smilodon adapted by using terrain itself, snow ridges, fallen logs, the low light of dusk, to close distance unseen. Every movement was calculated to spend as little energy as possible. Fossil evidence of thick forelimb bones shows the constant strain of dragging down prey through snow and mud. Its world forced precision. One strike, one kill, then retreat before the cold reclaimed the heat from its body. Every line of Smilodon's skeleton looks like a challenge to the laws that govern modern cats. Where today's lions and tigers are built for speed, the saber-tooth was built for control. Its bones read like a manual for converting brute strength into precision. The first thing that stands out is proportion. Its limbs were thick and compact, its tail short, its body low and heavy. In life it moved less like a runner and more like a wrestler, shoulders wide, elbows turned slightly outward to anchor the enormous muscles that powered its strike. Biomechanical models show its forelimbs generated twice the pulling force of a lion's. Each muscle attachment on the humerus and scapula is exaggerated, hinting at an animal that subdued prey not with pursuit but with restraint. Then there are the jaws. For decades, people assumed those saber teeth meant a bite to match a crocodile's, but CT scans proved the opposite. Smilodon's bite was comparatively weak. The skull's hinge opened wider than any living cat, over 120 degrees, allowing the canines to clear their own length during a downward stab. The power didn't come from the jaw, it came from the neck. Massive cervical vertebrae supported tendons that acted like coiled springs, driving the head down as the mouth closed. It didn't chew its victims, it punctured them. The teeth themselves were masterpieces of specialization. Each saber was nearly 8 inches long, laterally flattened like a dagger rather than round like a fang. Microscopic wear patterns reveal that Smilodon sliced through flesh rather than crushed bone. The edges were sharp enough to cut hide in a single motion, but brittle if twisted sideways. A misplaced bite could snap them, so every attack had to be calculated, targeting the soft tissue of the neck or belly where resistance was lowest. That precision made it terrifying. It never struck to wound, only to end. Inside the ribs, everything was overbuilt. The chest cavity was deep, providing space for a large heart and lungs capable of powering short, explosive bursts of effort. Energy conservation defined its entire physiology. In the Ice Age cold, each hunt consumed days' worth of stored fat. Smilodon could not afford long chases. Its metabolism was tuned for ambush, and even its fur, dense and layered according to preserved impressions, served as insulation for long, motionless waits in snow. The skeleton also carries hints of cooperation. Many fossils show healed fractures, dislocations, and bite scars that would have crippled a solitary predator. Yet those individuals survived to old age. The most logical explanation is social behavior. Small groups sharing kills, protecting injured members until they recovered. In a world of rival carnivores and freezing nights, survival favored cooperation over solitude. That possibility makes Smilodon not only a killer, but a creature capable of loyalty within its pack. Every adaptation points to a single philosophy: efficiency through power. Nothing about Smilodon was designed for show. The canines, the neck, the shoulders, even the short tail served one purpose: to control the moment of impact so completely that the fight was decided in seconds. It was the Ice Age's answer to an equation written in meat and muscle: maximum result for minimum motion. And when paleontologists reassemble its bones today, they're looking at more than an extinct cat. The frozen plains of the late Pleistocene, silence was more dangerous than sound. Prey didn't die because it was weak. It died because it never saw death coming. Smilodon was not built for pursuit. It was built for invisibility. The same short, heavy limbs that limited its speed also made it nearly silent. Snow compressed beneath its paws without a sound, its weight spread by broad pads that acted like natural snowshoes. When it moved through the pale grass or shallow drifts, it seemed to glide rather than walk. Its hunting style was pure patience. Instead of chasing herds across the open plains, it waited near migration paths carved by mammoths and bison. Sometimes, fossils suggest, it hid within the tree line or behind ice formations, crouched for hours until one animal broke from formation. Modern simulations of its leap show that it could cover more than 6 meters in a single bound, its claws gripping like anchors as hundreds of kilos of muscle drove the fangs towards soft tissue. One strike decided everything. Even if the prey didn't die instantly, blood loss in that cold was fatal within minutes. The Ice Age wasn't empty, though. Smilodon shared its world with equally ambitious hunters: the short-faced bear, the American lion, and the ever-present dire wolf. Each of them tested different answers to the same problem: how to feed in a land where meat was frozen before it could rot. The bear relied on brute strength, towering over any rival. The lion hunted in the open, its longer legs built for speed. But Smilodon ruled the edges, striking from the blind spots they couldn't reach. It turned the disadvantage of bulk into an advantage of precision. Lebre's fossil record record reveals a brutal social structure written in bone. Many Smilodons there show healed fractures, shattered pelvises, and broken sabers, injuries impossible to survive alone. Yet they lived long after the wounds. That means others must have fed them, guarded them, and shared kills. If true, Smilodon wasn't a solitary killer, but part of a cooperative unit. Perhaps family groups like modern lions, but quieter, more coordinated. In a place where night could last for days and temperatures fell far below freezing, that unity was a weapon as sharp as any fang. Evidence also hints that these predators adapted their timing to the rhythm of the Ice Age itself. In colder months, herds migrated south, and Smilodon followed the frozen rivers that acted as highways. During brief thaws, when snow melted into mud, it hunted along watering sites, ambushing animals that came to drink. Each shift in climate forced a new rhythm in its behavior, and it changed with precision, never wasting energy. And while popular imagination pictures Smilodon as a roaring giant, the truth was quieter. Its vocal anatomy shows that it likely lacked the resonating chambers that give modern lions their thunderous calls. Instead, it probably communicated through low growls and short-range hisses, perfect for stealth but useless for display. Every aspect of its design and behavior was stripped down to function. This efficiency wasn't unique. It was the rule for every predator that shared its world. Power, speed, and endurance were balanced so tightly that one shift in temperature or prey movement could decide which species ruled the next season.